Sons of the Forest is one of the most important new games of 2023 to watch. Developer and Night Games is gearing up to deliver The Forest 2, a massively expanded sequel to one of the best survival games in recent memory, except for the name. With a new world to explore, more advanced AI mutants to battle, and a new set of horrors to survive, Sons of the Forest is quickly becoming one of our most anticipated upcoming PC games for the new year. Below you'll find all the latest Sons of the Forest news, along with key details on gameplay progress and in Night's targeted focus areas. It's worth noting that the studio is currently focused on the PC version, although it hasn't ruled out a console launch in the future, so there's some hope for your PS5 and Xbox Series owners. And with that out of the way, read on to find out everything you need to know about Sons of the Forest. Sons of the Forest release date. Sons of the Forest will launch on February 23, 2023. The highly anticipated survival game was originally scheduled for release in 2022, first in May and then in October, although developer and Night has announced a third Sons of the Forest delay at August 31. In an official statement, the studio explained that it took time to complete the polish we feel is necessary due to the increased scale and fidelity of the experience. Sons of the Forest platforms. The only confirmed release platform for Sons of the Forest is PC. Developer and Night says it's focused on PC development at the moment, though a studio rep says we'd like to move to console in the future. The Forest released on PC and PS4 in 2018, so there's some hope that this small team will bring the sequel to the PS5 and Xbox Series X in the future. Son of the Forest trailer. 3 Sons of the Forest trailers have been released so far, each showcasing how developer and Night Games pushes visual fidelity, the depth of its systems, and improves immersion. You can check out the latest trailer above, and it's a fantastic showcase for what's to come in 2023. Look for the more intuitive building and a scene where a group of mutants are spooked after the player kills one decapitated groups and flashes the skull towards them. Game of the Sons of the Forest. The gameplay of Sons of the Forest is built on the foundations that made The Forest a success. It is an open-world survival game where you can use the weapons, tools and environments around you to fight against cannibal mutants and mitigate the effects of the elements. You can play solo or in co-opus multiplayer sessions, though Night is yet to confirm whether this sequel will support 8-player parties like its predecessor. Like The Forest, this sequel will have a heavy focus on crafting, cooking, and combat, the latter of which has greatly expanded to include more weapon types. Weapons will be more common, although ammo will be limited, so Sons of the Forest will focus on melee. Since Endpoint also greatly expands the size and variety of mutants here, it's never a bad thing to have a shotgun on hand to bail you out of a sticky situation. Story of the Children of the Forest. The Forest had 2 endings, and Sons of the Forest basically fulfills the first canon, in which an elderly Timmy struggles to suppress his mutation and explores an island labeled Site 2. This is where the story of Sons of the Forest takes place. You are sent to a remote island to find a missing billionaire and soon find yourself in a cannibal-infested nightmare. Like The Forest before it, this sequel will focus more on visual storytelling than scripted encounters or long cutscenes, focusing on survival against the horrors of the island. Map Sons of the Forest and surroundings. The Sons of the Forest map will be approximately 4 times the size of the playable space in the forest. The area is loosely based on the Site 2 map you might have glimpsed at the end of the first game, though it's expanded on later when Night makes it a reality. This survival game will once again be set in a Pacific Northwest style setting, although Sons of the Forest will feature dynamic seasons to introduce more variety. This affects not only the visual design of the island, but also your approach to survival. For example, food sources will differ between summer and winter, while the elements themselves change the enemy's behavior and provide additional challenges. Sons of the Forest AI. One of the major changes between The Forest and Sons of the Forest is a new AI system that developer and Night calls Veil. He named a tool that regulates the behavior of those who live on the island. Characters will be affected by hunger, thirst, and their mental state, which can change their routines and reactions to events. Enemies will also have their own ecosystems, with your actions helping to influence whether husks are more likely to attach themselves to the underground cave network or roam the wilds above. The developer also teased that the cannibals will find elaborate ways to coordinate their attacks, and that you can even weaponize fear against them if you're smart with your resources. Sons of the Forest construction and crafting. Sons of the Forest will feature more robust cooking, crafting, and building systems, and Night introduced a digging mechanism and the possibility of using a 3D printer to create more elaborate and complex objects, both to help you survive and to create objects in different colors that help you stand out from your friends in multiplayer sessions. The studio also confirmed that it abandoned the sanity system entirely because it couldn't find a satisfactory way to intertwine it with the core survival loop. Building will still be a central focus in Sons of the Forest, and you should expect a more grounded set of systems to immerse you further into the world. For example, if you want to add a window to the base you're building, take out the decoy and cut one in the gap. Spears are made by grinding wood and bonfires are made by breaking twigs and lighting them. Sons of the Forest is still essentially a survival horror game, so resource and circumstance management will still be key, even if more challenging crafting systems are implemented. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.